I'm going to share the link too. See what's on. See, let me try this headset real quick.
Oh man, yo, I feel like the champion. Oh man, yo, I feel like the champion.
Oh man, yo, I feel like the champion.
I'm making sure they know me now, know me now, know me now. And I pray they never forget me and made it because they let me made a lane and I played the game. I couldn't stay the same, I had to change up, get my change up before I lost my brain. Belly of the beast, no peace. Think I need a breeze. Somebody pray for me cause my sanity is out of reach. Going insane, I see me taking over the game. Could tell it's up in my brain, but I hear them yelling my name like name, like name, like. And I don't need the limelight, do it on my own. I do me, I bet I shine bright. On my headlight flow, double red lights go. We just headed to the tippy, whoa, whoa, whoa. Damn it, I'm killing, I'm amped, and I slam it out of you. One handed, big bandit, I feel like the champion. Oh man, yo, I feel like the champion. Y'all lamp, and I'm killing, I'm amped, and I slam it out of you. One handed, big bandit, I feel like the champion. Oh man, yo, I feel like the champion. I'm feeling like a champ. Champions never settle. I need a trophy, a medal to my name. Moving lanes, my foot be on the pedal. Get ahead, movement change. It's only cause I let you, homie. All I know is I ain't got to pretend. She put me in the top 10, how I got it in. Something burning inside like I gotta win. And that's what take me beat a chip. I swear you not there. Damn it, I'm killing, I'm amped, and I slam it out of you.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, and this is episode 15. As we talk about the power of negotiation. Welcome back, guys. Episode 15, Locked In Podcast. Christmas Eve, if you will. I guess it's Wednesday, December 23rd. Hope everybody is all situated for the Christmas holiday that is on the horizon. And hope everybody's doing very, very well. As you saw in the intro right there, we will be talking about the power of negotiation today. Basically, we're going to be walking
Bingo.
through the importance of negotiation, and we're going to share some stories of where we unsuccessfully negotiated and kind of didn't get what we wanted. And we're going to share some success stories of how we successfully negotiated as well as we walk through. I'm Steve, and joined alongside me as always is the man himself.
George Mechai, aka G-Mac.
And yeah, guys, we're back at it.
We're back.
Yeah.
Sounds good. What's going on?
Not much, man. I hope all is well on your end. And it's a little bit of a weird format this time, right? Because we're on a Wednesday. It's 3 o'clock. It's a little earlier than usual. So even if you guys can't tune in with us and rock with us live, Locked In Nation, we're sure that you'll probably see this a little later on because it is early. We know that everybody's busy with the holidays, so
Right.
see what type of viewership we kind of get here. But like I said, negotiation is very, very important. We're gonna hop into that one. And the famous negotiator himself, Chester Carras, once said, "You don't get what you deserve in life; you get what you negotiate." It's very, very true.
Wow. So powerful. So true, though.
Yeah, it's very important. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah. So they say that life is not fair, but it's kind of like life is what you make it. Well, that's what they meant. There's even a song by Nas and DMX, an old song of an old album called "Life Is What You Make It." Believe I'm gonna make it. Well, if you don't go for it, bro, it's just not gonna come to you sometimes. I mean, we even mentioned this with our man James in a couple episodes ago, like 3 episodes ago, that it's not just who you know, it's who knows you, but it's also how you perceive that connection, friendship, relationship, and how you make that happen. Relationships are also negotiable as well, because it's how bonds are formed without saying too much, but that's how it is. Somebody sees you that you're negotiating, you don't move up, they like you more. Even in a job, they might hire you quicker or something like that. But if you just keep your mouth shut, you just kind of go there and just do your thing and leave and don't really stand out as much, how would they know? Closed mouth don't get fed, man. People know that.
That's a good point right there. Closed mouths don't get fed. Yeah, it's definitely true. You have to negotiate your value in life. I mean, life just isn't always fair, and it's not always just your work ethic that you kind of hope that, right? You hope that, without you even have to say anything, your work ethic can speak for you. But a lot of times it doesn't matter it doesn't necessarily matter if it's your career, if it's dating, relationships, that could be with your significant other, family, anything, everyday life. You have to compromise a lot of times. There's usually a negotiation. It means being comfortable in yourself enough to speak your mind. And a lot of people, unfortunately, aren't. And you can't really put a price tag on effective communication. It's just one of those things that if you're able to negotiate and just stand up for yourself, even if the situation don't really work out in your favor, you kind of walk away from that situation feeling a little bit powerful. You just kind of do, just because you did what you had to do. Like, if you sit there and you don't negotiate and then you get all upset about it, passive aggressive energy behind the scenes, and then you're complaining to people about it, it's not a way you're going to be able to ever live your life. It's hard to be successful when you can't negotiate. So that's why we kind of thought about this topic, guys. I think it was an important one to kind of hit on, to definitely bring to you guys a little bit of knowledge on this. If it maybe some things that you guys haven't ever saw before or known about, you can hear from our experiences personally, kind of what we learned through studying negotiation. I'm someone who likes to study like negotiation, like here and there, because I think it's important, and it's good to have that kind of fresh in the back of your mind. But we'll also talk about negotiation itself. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into it. But before we hop into it, guys, you know what we got to do. There's 3 things we got to do as always. Number 1, if you see our podcast as value and you like our content, please spread the word to anybody that you're friends with, family, anybody you associate with regularly. Please spread the word about our podcast. We have created a public page. It's only got about 35, 40 people in so far. So as that grows, maybe eventually we'll just shift this platform over to the public page. But for now, we're keeping this private. So spread the word amongst yourselves and kind of just to people on your own if you find our podcast of value. Number 2, yeah, definitely. So number 2, if you see something you like or you just want to chime in, share your opinion, comment down below. As always, we'd love to hear your opinion, especially with this episode with negotiating. And number 3, just sit back, tune in, enjoy the podcast. It's 2020, guys. We're on the brink of a new year in 2021. Be true and be you, as I always say. So let's keep it moving. So I guess we'll start, without further ado, we'll just hop right into this. And we'll talk a little bit about, I guess, the power of negotiation. George, you want to talk a little bit on that, and then
Yeah.
you can bring it back over to me as well, and I'll
No problem.
go on mine.
Yeah, I'll take the lead a little bit on this, bro.
Cool.
So, yeah, man, like you said, it's definitely, so let's start off the top, right? It's definitely almost a new year. Just so you guys know as well, and we'll get to this a little later. There's one more episode. So this is the last. I'm sorry, it's the second to last episode. Which for those guys, you saw some of the promotion I did earlier in the morning and last night. I talked about this. We decided, go strong on this one. It's a good topic. We're gonna hop right into it, and we're gonna bring you guys another good episode. But that's story for next week or the day before the 30th, sometime around then. Now, as far as negotiation, man, like you said, bro, it's all about timing. It's almost everything in life. Not everything, but it's almost there. Timing. It's like timing and place. It's almost like timing and space, location, where you are in your life and where exactly you're located and when. If you're in the right place, right time, and it happens to work out for you, whether it's for a job, to join a new gym, to start a business, to start even a podcast like you did, it's just kind of how it goes. It's essential. Just look at our podcast. We spoke about how we started it, like we had an idea about a year ago now, going on 2 years, sometime 2019. But it's something that I personally been wanting to do for a long time, and you probably behind the scenes were thinking that. We knew each other for a while. It just kind of happened. You see what I'm saying? Key example, timing. We came together, put our focus together and our sources, if you want to call it that, made this happen, and that's possible. And we're here, man. And hopefully soon we'll be, on some bigger platforms. In other words, you won't really get nothing in life unless you really try to at least work for, at least go for, at least reach your arm. Nothing really just comes to you. It might, but it's going to be kind of like, something that maybe you get lucky with, like a job, or somebody that just kind of put you in or put you on to something, or a friend of yours got a podcast. Say, yeah, I got a podcast. Join me. You could be my co-host from now on, right there. It kind of came to you a little because you knew somebody, but chances are it's not always going to be like that. So you gotta get up and make things happen. And this ties to the laws of attraction, all that. Some of the good stuff that we talked about in the past that we'll get into later. You gotta attract something to yourself. You cannot just wait for it to come. The football doesn't come always in your hand. When Wentz throws that football, you kind of have to go and kind of catch it a little bit. As a receiver or somebody that's going to catch the ball. The quarterback throws it at you. So to use an analogy, if you're not negotiating in a workplace, anywhere in life, at least speaking your mind and speaking what you have to say, they won't know what you have to offer, bro. You could be the best, technician, radio chat guy, podcaster, YouTuber, athletes, all that, all the above. You have it all. You have swag with the ladies. You're good looking. You have a car. But if you don't talk much, you just kind of like stay quiet. You don't have that mindset. I mean, unfortunately, it's almost like a pot of gold with with nothing to open it. You cannot break it. So it's just, you have all this gold, but it's inside now. How are you gonna open it? So, like I said, it's important that in communications, man, negotiation should be up there. Should be like your introduction. You express self-confidence, look people in the eye, talk a certain way, then negotiate. And whether it's you're building a relationship, you're going for an interview, it sounds like I'm talking just about a job interview, but no, this is much more than that. We're talking about the whole spectrum, like you stated a little earlier, a few minutes ago. So it depends how you approach the situation, how you talk, you let them know your worth. But first thing is first, though, and I've done a whole seminar on this. I don't want to get into it too much because it's a long story, but it's how you approach, how you stay. See, I'm staying right now. You can stay here, you can be here, and you can be here. But they say that keep like a notebook in front of you, like a little, hang on, let me show you. I got it right here, actually. 1 second. Okay, sorry, guys, a little dusty, but here you go. This. If you're ever in a meeting, I mean, and again, doesn't always pertain to everything, but if you're in a meeting, a business meeting, some of friends taking notes or job interview or in orientation, you have one of these, you keep it here, and you kind of like, it makes you seem like you're more focused and more organized. You know what I mean?
Very, very true.
And this is a cheap one, to be honest. It's an old one I have, guys, but I mean, I got a better one. You can have a little suitcase and all that, like when you're like a lawyer, a paralegal, teacher. I'm a sub teacher now, so when I go, places, I actually need one of those, and I got one, but I got to get a new one. I've been lucky to work virtually lately, but yeah, like I said, it's very important to have one of those. Look him in the eye, and you mentioned it earlier, Steve. It's extremely important that you have the confidence to, like, don't fidget. Don't be like your mouth gets so stuck. You study like no. It's just take a breather, relax, right? Know that that's a person in front of you. Whether it might be a CEO or a president, they're very important. But you're deep inside that you're also a very high value man. You're very important as well. Like you said earlier, I don't want to use certain words like alpha, this and that. We'll talk about it another time. But it's important to know that you're a high value man. You're an asset. You're important, and you will be treated with respect, because at the end of the day, we want to believe that most people that go to these places are in fact good people like us. They have a good heart, but they also are go-getters, they're motivators. You don't want somebody just to hear, because interviewers and people that you're negotiating with don't want to hear somebody, or don't want to see somebody, or know somebody that just, yeah, listen. You gotta have a mind of your own, man. You gotta speak, bro. So that's very important. And I take it back to you now, Steve. chime in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think you made some really, really good points there. With negotiating, it is all about knowing your value, right? So the whole thing is if I'll just bring the career aspect to start here.
Yeah, please
If
do.
you've been working your ass off and like you're a hard worker, you know what you bring to the table, maybe it requires some long nights you're working behind the scenes, things that they'll never ever like, you maybe like they're not appreciating you for. If you go into a negotiation, know your value, like for sure. Like what you do, what your work ethic is, what you bring to the table.
Right.
Go in and when you're negotiating with people, negotiating can bring about so many luxuries in life just from effectively communicating, negotiating with people. So it's very, very important to know how to negotiate and to be able to essentially, I guess, get what you want. You can earn monetary compensation from negotiating. You can bring about a better relationship with your significant other from negotiating. You can just bring about like more confidence in yourself in everyday life from negotiating, because there's a lot of times where you could just be at a supermarket, you can be anywhere, and you got to compromise with something. Somebody does something to you and you're afraid to stand up for yourself. That's a compromise, that's a negotiation. Like if you can't learn to negotiate, like it trickles down to everyday circumstances. But I guess for this one, like for the career side of it,
Right.
what I would say is, say you've been working very hard and you feel like you've done your research and you feel like you deserve a promotion based on your work ethic. Now, if you're scared to negotiate, you're never even going to walk into. If you're like so scared to the point where you're never even going to walk into that conversation with your boss, that becomes a problem because you're leaving so much on the table. So I would say, like, I'll give you a perfect example, like of effective negotiation inside of the career aspect. If you're going to sit down with your boss, negotiating a promotion. So say you've been working at your company and you want to walk into, you feel like you deserve a promotion, a monetary increase, if you will, a pay increase. So you've done like the things I would say before you even walk into that conversation, have your data and because support it with data. Don't just support it with emotions. I feel this way. Although you do, it's going to be hard off an emotional basis to communicate that to your boss that that's why you want the raise. If you feel like you've been working hard and you've been doing more than what you've asked for and you've succeeded in your role and you think you're ready to like move up to the next level, have data in front of you. You can go on things like pay scale, find if you're already doing tasks that are already outside of your realm and you feel like you should be getting compensated for it, go and Google I would say use a source like PayScale, and go and find out what it would cost your company in order to the pay structure. It would cost your company to bring a person in who's doing the job that you're currently doing. If you're doing tasks that are outside your realm, or you feel like you've been working very, very successfully in a role for a long time, and you feel like even though it's been a good fit, you feel like you're ready to take on more and get a pay increase, come with the facts, come with the data. When you walk in, confident body language. So you can't put a price on body language. How do you listen to some? And it's give and take in a negotiation, right? Like I know you've been in negotiations as well, George, and it's a lot of give and take. You have to be able to listen to what your boss is saying as well. If it's all you just trying to do the talking, you're not even listening to what they're saying. You need to assure them that there's a benefit in both of this for you guys. Like it definitely needs to be give and take. You need to communicate with your body language. You're giving them eye contact. You're listening to them. Your back is straight. You're not hunched. When you go
exactly. Very important, bro.
Very important.
It smells confidence, correct? Like it's just, see, man, that's the whole detail. I'm glad you're talking about this, not to cut you off or nothing, but it's very important that you stay a certain way. You smile a little, but you look him in the eye. And it's just the way how you, how do I say this, bro? Put in layman's, how your face looks and how you interact. And, if you talk with your hands like I'm doing right now, and you're looking at them, it spells a lot what's going to happen. And it gives you an edge on negotiation. But yeah.
Exactly. This should be a winning process for both of you guys. It shouldn't be, I demand this, I demand that. If you get the pay increase, you're going to work harder and you're already working in the position that you're working. When you get that pay increase, or say you want a promotion and you see a role that opened up, you're going to work twice as hard. The whole thing with negotiating is very, like I said, the body language aspect, going in confidently. It's also with your talk, right, George? So I would say, like, you actually majored in communication in college. It's very important for you to slow your speech when you're talking to people as well. That instills confidence. Take a breather. When you talk very fast, you're going very frantically. Guess what? The employer knows that, and they know. See, not every boss is looking to get an advantage over you, but there are some bosses out there that, if like they tell that you're super nervous, they know they're going to be able to take advantage of you in this conversation. And from the get-go, they know that you're not even confident in yourself coming in, and it's very important. And there's courses you can actually like look on this. There's like confidence courses. On YouTube, I'm sure you could find videos. The main point of our thing today is obviously negotiating, but confidence is so important walking in. Rehearse with friends, rehearse with family members, people you already feel comfortable with. Rehearse with them before you go in to talk to your boss. Now, this is the part of the negotiation that in the career realm, like if you're negotiating a promotion, that I think is so important. And I think a lot of people don't prepare for it. They just think it's going to be a yes or no. If you get a no, which is like you consider right, I always try to prepare for failure. In like we were talking about this last week a little bit as well.
Yeah.
If you get a no, don't let that be the end of the conversation. Come back with a rebuttal. And I'm not going to say, oh, well, I better get that promotion. Not like that, but come back with a rebuttal that says, okay, how about if I set like goals with your boss? Sit down and be like, how about in the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months, if I achieve this, this, and this, how about I come back to you and we discuss a possibility for a promotion? Get their word on it. Actually get a piece of paper. See if you can actually get them to sign that, and just have targeted goals for your organization on like, okay, if I improve on this and I increase sales by this much, or I hit like this monthly target, how about I come back to you and we open up the discussion again and we talk a possible promotion? Always have a backup plan. It's very, very important, because if you just go, they go, no, like, and you just take that and walk out. I mean, leave all your cards on the table. Don't go down without a fight. Like I said, if you really know you work your ass off, you know you're a hard worker, you know your work ethic is like impeccable, go into that negotiation feeling confident, because you should pat yourself on the back because you know you're working your ass off. At the end of the day, don't go down without a fight. And I'm not saying a physical fight. I'm saying stay confident. It's mental warfare, right?
Mental warfare. It's a challenge, bro. You got to go there and, like you said, negotiate. And you got to. I mean, you put it best, bro. It's not about you. It's over tone of voice, and it's say no. I mean, unless like a flat out no, and even if they do kind of like seem like they have an interest in you, be like, okay, thanks for your time. It's all about you present yourself. Don't get mad, dude. Even if you curse them out, curse them in the car. Say something later on, but just walk away. Thanks for your time. Shake somebody, or if you don't want to shake hands, be like, okay, thank you. You know your worth. To add on to what you just said, bro, there's been jobs that told me I was overqualified. I'm like, what? I don't even know what that meant. Like, so I'm too good for this. They're like, yeah, we'll give you a chance, but you could just leave on us. It's almost like they could put the ball in my court.
Right.
At the time I needed a job, so I took it. Or maybe I didn't, in some situation I didn't take the job, but I kept that as like a good reference, or a good, just in case I was jobless, which it did happen eventually anyway. Shit happens, right? I ended up going there and I got the job. But guess what? You build connections, bro. So you never really lost. That's the thing. It's never really a loss. Even a failure is an opportunity to improve. People look at, even in team sports, oh, the Eagles lost his game. Well, maybe the Eagles play better next game. They're going to win against Green Bay or the Cowboys or whatever, the Saints. No shame to losing to, like, I don't know, say like, like a Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Or a decent team, because you're still learning to kind of tie it up with sports a little bit. So people always say like, oh, well, I hope I get the job. And they post it on Facebook and all this. Like we talked about last week, mentioned this a few weeks ago. Be a silent professional, be a silent killer, a silent assassin. In terms of like, crush all your goals, what you got to do things, and tell others little by little. I posted something on my IG page. You follow the Ultimate News 99, and on our page on the podcast. I mean, the Locked In podcast. It could have been the original page with the star that I put, and the new one we just did. And you liked it too, actually. The one with like an older man saying like this. He's like, remember, he's pointing out, he says, keep doing things, amaze people, and don't tell them too much. Look at our one friend, and you know what I'm talking about. He does a lot, bro, and he told us a lot behind the scenes. And guess what? Most people don't know his podcast. When they check his podcast out and his conversations that he has on the videos he does, the shows, he spills little beans, but he's smart, he's technical with it, he knows what to do, he's a grown man, you know. That's really what it comes down to being, you know, not just an alpha, but like a good negotiator, excuse me, a high value man and a high value person of interest. Remember, we're talking about person of interest. What others want, you know, to like kind of, you know, like talk to you and have you, you know, on their team. That's a good thing, you know. That's, you know, means things are good.
Some of the most successful negotiators, the people of high status and value that I know, are the people that have the confident body language to walk into a situation. So I know somebody, I have a few different like mentors, somebody who's actually related to me. He's one of those guys where if you walk into a room, he will shake your hand, he'll talk to you. And like, it's almost like nerve-wracking if for somebody who doesn't know how to instill eye contact with someone like that, because this guy will look you up and like, not up and down, but he'll keep his whole like look you right in the face. And even when the conversation goes silent, he will keep it there. Like not like a awkward, like a stare like this, but like a little smirk and like a shake of head. Like he's one of those people that is so confident, and I'm not going to mention his name. I'm related to this person, but
I think I know you're talking about. Go ahead.
He's definitely of high value in life. Like I'm talking about in terms of status, money, like not just money, but like lots of other things.
He lives a lifestyle. He lives a lifestyle people kill for. Let's be real. He lives a good lifestyle, but he's also a very confident man, and you know.
And the one thing I've learned from people who are successful, whether it be millionaires, whether it be, you know, in terms of like their fitness and their health, people that I know are high value. There's always people that are flocking to them and always wanting to be in conversation with these people. They're people that act like this. They emulate this lifestyle where they're super confident and they believe in themselves. And maybe it wasn't always like that. And that's okay if you don't feel that way right now. But the point is to always be growing, and you want to get to that point, right? That's definitely very important. But with negotiating, it all comes from body language. Confidence is the start. If you don't have that and you're trying to speak a certain way, but your body language is off, it's not going to put the whole picture. You can tell that it's kind of like the fake it till you make it attitude. And I already said, I hate that mentality.
Yo,
like,
real quick, can I add on to that real quick? Yeah, speaking of that, because you just kind of mentioned.
Absolutely. Add on, man.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I keep doing that, but we got to kind of go back and forth a little. Yo, check this out. Speaking of fake it or make it, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of like even really that word, but I guess I've used it in the past. But there is a way though. I gotta kind of like I agree with what you said though. But when it comes to, like you said, people that like you just said it earlier, that emulate those people that like they see on TV, or then like, you know, me for example. So just say I meet a millionaire and he's friendly with me and we become kind of cool, but we're not super cool friends. And I'm trying to kind of be down with him to be in his good graces, and I'm trying to learn so he can put me on, or I could at least learn from him, because they say that who you hang out with, you kind of become like that, which is good to hang out with other men of interest, or, you know, power, you know, not just power men, but, you know, high value alphas or high value men, right? No matter where you are. But
right.
Here's the thing.
Exactly.
If you kind of like in the quote unquote are faking it till you making a little, but you're hanging out with them, and that's like actually, like I kind of say it. It's faking till you make it, yes, but it's not in a negative sense that me and you think that we don't like that. Oh, you're just faking it, like he's just faking everything, or an IG, or he's just trying to pretend a front. Sometimes if you're just trying to emulate, like if you don't have much to offer, but you're an intelligent guy, you make decent money, and you don't go to the next level, you just start where you are, and you quote unquote sort of like fake it till you make it, but you're hanging out with alphas or rich guys around CEOs, you have family members, like your family member who's really up there. That's not a bad way to look at it. Even though you're kind of faking it, in a way you're building it. So it's more like build till you make it. You're not necessarily faking it like, let me just fake everything, but tomorrow I'll be broke, sleeping on the floor, you know, my house doesn't have heater, I got no car. It's a different story, you know. In other words, if you're like, you're somewhere already there, and you just like, in other words, like you're kind of faking it, but in reality, you just sound like, you know, you emulate and, you know, imitate what you see and making your own and kind of grow from it. To me, it's more like you're just learning from experience. So you might seem in full category of fake it till you make it, but how much can you fake it till you make it though? We talked about this 2 episodes ago. We talked about this 3 nights ago. Last week we met up. There's only so much a dude can fake it till he makes it. I mean, which is why the term fake it till you make it is better to say fake it till you make it, more like progress until you make it. So, you know, you can fake it in the beginning, but then you gotta get serious, because again, you can't just fake the whole time and then a year later, okay, well, I'm gonna make it now. No, but you fake 364 days a year. What you mean you're gonna make it now? Fuck you mean?
Exactly.
It takes time.
Yeah, exactly. In essence, when I say like people who talk about fake it till you make it, it's the ones that I can't stand that are like, you know, like you're nowhere near that goal and you say you're going to fake it till you make it. How, like, if you're nowhere near that goal, say you want to lose 100 pounds and they tell you fake it till you make it. Are you really going to be able to look yourself in the mirror 100 pounds overweight? You're nowhere near what you actually ideally see yourself and be able to fake it till you make it. And maybe it's in terms of status. You want to be a millionaire by next year. Just say it's a huge goal. I want to be a millionaire by next year. and like you're envisioning yourself as a millionaire when you're not a millionaire. I just think a lot of it is just like it's total crap in my opinion. And I always used to be someone that was for that mindset, like fake it till you make it. But just from experience, I just noticed I don't think it's sufficed. Now, here's the thing: if you have confidence as you're moving towards your goal, you know, every little step is confidence. That's not being fake. That's having confidence because you're genuinely taking action.
Slowly building.
Yeah, I don't ever want to like say like you should not feel a certain way until you reach that end goal. I just think it's more effective to think as you take the steps. Be proud of yourself for each little step you take towards that end result. Because if you like fake it and act like you're already there, then there's no I feel like there's no progress going on. A lot of those people that act like that, they act like something they're not. And guess what? 5 years down the line, they're still in the same position they were 5 years ago because they're trying to still act like they're somebody they're not. And that's definitely, it's important to, you can own up and be like, I'm 100 pounds overweight and you want to lose 100 pounds. Yeah, I'm a fat piece of shit. Like you can admit to yourself, that's okay. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to admit their wrongs and their failures in life. But until we get past like being harsh on ourselves and like pushing ourselves to that next level, I'm all for positivity. And you should, positivity starts with you being able to admit your failures, because then the only way you can go is up. If you're honest,
admit that you're not perfect, right? And you want to go somewhere.
Very true.
That's the whole thing, bro. And it comes down to this too. If you lie to yourself dude, all the time and you're not doing anything, that's one thing. Now, again, and I don't spend too much time on fake it till you make it, but it goes well with this conversation for sure. You can fake it till you make it, okay? But it's like, you know, after a while, man, you got to take actionable plans. Like we spoke about 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago, right? Or last week? I forgot the episode, but we talked about, again, you know, this is also something that ties to the laws of attraction. And guess what? Of all people, dude, they use Conor McGregor as an example. And I think I mentioned it. They said, like, I think it was actually because when fight Dustin Poirier, the last fight back in 2014, because they have a rematch coming up. When he fought him, they asked him, so Conor, how do you see the fight going? And he's like, you know, I see myself, you know, he won't do a thing, you know, I'm going to butcher him, I'm going to hit his body, I'm going to destroy him, knock him out. And exactly what he said, he did. When he asked Dustin, he's like, you know, I don't know, you know, I can see myself winning this fight. I see myself, my hand raised. He said he sees himself, but in reality, you're building up. It's almost like you fake it till you make it. You're building up, you're attracting your mind. You're saying, I'm going to do this. But what are you doing? Are you really envisioning it? Are you really training harder or doing something to get like the next car, to be a millionaire next year, to go to school, to lose weight, or in this case, to win a fight? Or are you just kind of saying it and you believe in it, but halfway believe in it? I'm using certain terms, but again, halfway believe in it. The laws of attraction only work if you believe it, envision it, believe, achieve, conceive, or believe, conceive, believe, achieve, conceive, yeah. And you got to do it. I mean, if you're not conceiving it to make it, if you're not going out the way to do something big, I mean, to go in the company, look up people on Google, you know, try to set up somebody, you know, network, go to branches. These things, going out of places will open doors, but you meet people. Once you meet people, it has to battle. Staying home and talking about it and to yourself, and that's fake it till you're making it. That's just, you know, that's not what it's about, man. And
exactly.
Too much of a waste of time, you know. 5-year plans. We talked about this. Well, the concept of 5-year plans, which is actually, I got some notes on this too. It all comes down, like, you know, how bad you want it, how you doing it. But Conor McGregor's case is very simple because it said all the stuff he said, he actually went forward and he had like this amazing desire, not just confidence. Yeah, he's a cocky guy. We all know that. He can talk a lot of trash, but he's very persuasive and he's very good at what he does. Whereas others try the same thing, but they haven't done it. Like they're dreaming with no results, just dreaming of the results, but no way to between that. It's like a step. It's like A to A, B, C to like Z. You cannot get to like D and then, you know, E and F if you've missed B and C, but you went A. You feel me? And that's kind of what you just said earlier. Like you alluded to that earlier, like how there's things, you know, how you got to do things and, you know, you can't just like say, I'm going to do it or think you're cool. Even James said this, that it's cool if you know people, like, oh, I know people, but who knows you though? And then the people you know, are you using those connections? Are you actually getting help? I was one of those guys, bro. I had a lot of connections and I wasn't using them enough. Yeah, we're great. We're actually not just, you know, connections and like acquaintances. We actually were friends. They'll come to my house and this is important people, high value males. And I wasn't using them. Like I thought I was. And then I said, let me use them when I have to. It could be because sometimes I'm a little proud, bro. And I feel like I want to do it on my own. We all feel that, like, you know, I got to be proud. I got to do my own. But sometimes you gotta get help when when he's there. You know, you gotta use
exactly.
You have to use them in a negative way because it's give something you use for something good. You repay him, they repay you back. You repay them back, and they're still your boys. In this case, they're my friends. But I knew college professors. I know people that did radio stations. People in the business. I mean, a lot of people, even in Hollywood. You know, they know people in Hollywood. I know people that do this. But the thing is, it's one thing. They're also far, and then we don't talk every day. But a lot of them I was cool with, and through social media, stay in touch, bro. Stay busy with your, you know, your friends and people in important places and partners because you want to strive to be better. If you want to be in a circle of winners, you got to go with people who have done more than you. Because if you ain't got people that have done less than you, you feel like you're always important. I'm the man, but people are doing more than you too, bro. You got to motivate yourself and discipline yourself and go up there. Just see the path. Don't just get caught up. It's easy to get caught up when you're doing good. Oh, I'm good now. I'm good. Put everything aside. Like me, you could say,
Exactly.
oh, let's take 2 episodes off or 3 episodes off. Well, we can't really do that. We got to build this thing. So
Exactly. And
Example.
you have to put the ego aside and the pride and be humble. The only way you're ever going to achieve success in life is by humility. Humility is very, very important. And I don't care if you're a millionaire or you make you only have $100 in your bank account. Humility is so important. It doesn't matter where you're at. But in terms of a negotiation factor as well, that you have to humble yourself a little bit there as well, because you do need to try to. I mean, that's the thing. You don't want to walk into an interview super cocky. Just be confident. That's all it comes down to. Now, I kind of discussed. What's that?
You repeat that, bro? You said you don't want to walk where? I didn't hear you.
Oh, no. Just in terms of ego and being like, humble. Yeah, you just need humility is so important in life. Like, you got to be humble when it goes into negotiations as well, and just you got to kind of understand where you got to listen. It's give and take. I've already stated that give and take is so important inside of a negotiation. You can't come in super cocky. Just be confident. That's all it is. But I did touch. So we'll move negotiation along a little bit, and then eventually we'll dive into an experience where unsuccessful. But I do want to touch on some other facts of negotiation and kind of relating to the power of it. I've already talked about the career side of it, and I could talk about business and other things. We got about a half hour left, so we got some time.
We're good with time.
But I want to dive into like how this kind of affects many different facets of life, right? So negotiating can also dive deep into your personal life. This can dive into relationships. It can dive into your dating. If you're not seeing success, you don't know how to ask for what you need in a relationship or want in a relationship. It can become very toxic. You can become manipulated and controlled by your significant other.
You get stuck. And
yes, it can become a problem.
You don't want to be in. You kind of lose time,
You need to be able to ask for what you need in a relationship, and you need to be confident in yourself, because a lot of people, right, they look for love. They think that like if they're not confident in themselves, that they're going to go find love with somebody. They're like, that'll fix everything. Or they think that like if you don't love yourself, and I know this is cliche and it gets said so many times, but it is so important. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to find someone that actually loves you? Because you don't even love yourself. You need to, self-love is the best kind of love, and you need to learn that. But anyway, negotiating is very, very important inside relationships. If you get into a relationship where you're controlled by your significant other, say it started off well, but then that person turned into a toxic individual, a lot of their bad qualities started coming out inside the relationship, probably because they don't love themselves either. And they could be narcissistic. There's many different things. I've seen a lot of it, not just by myself, but through other people's relationships, right? For people maybe you know personally, and it can become a problem. So if you're just passive, and you don't, or maybe you want to say something, but you're like scared to say something, you feel like that person will leave you or something because you're not confident in yourself, it can become a problem, right? You need to know how to negotiate even in your relationship, and compromise is so critical. How many times like does a significant other have to compromise? Okay, my girlfriend or my wife doesn't like this thing, but she does it with me because we compromise. I don't like doing this activity, but I do it with my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife, because like I know that it makes her happy. So it's compromise and negotiate, and that's all negotiating really is, right? It's compromising. So it's so important in relationships. It's like, if you don't know how to negotiate at all, like it can become a problem, not just in business. It can become a problem in your personal life. That can trickle down to everyday activities. Like I said, you could be in a grocery store. You could be, somebody hops in your line at the grocery store and like just hops right in front of you. And like, imagine if you're passive and don't know how to say anything to that person. It becomes a problem, right? Like not knowing how to talk and ask for what you want and what you need in life becomes a
pushover at that point,
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot more people deal with this than they say, right? Like a lot of people say they're not one, but then they are one. It's like
the colors that show up. Yeah, it shows. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot more people deal with that than really meets the eye. But in terms of the relationship aspect, is there anything you kind of want to touch on that one? Like just how negotiating inside of a relationship.
Real quick. Right. I don't want to kind of cut you off. I'm raise my hand, be like, I got something.
No problem.
But I was going to let you continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dating, right? Here's the thing, bro. And which I like how you put that on, because it is a negotiation. but it's almost like a negotiation in a deeper meaning that the average individual might hit their head, like, past, go over their head, like, what you mean love is negotiation? Well, it is, dude. It is, my man. Let me tell you how it is. If you're with a chick, and whether you're in a relationship or you're not, or whether you are what we call, like, these so quote unquote low-key relationships. I mean, come on, dude. You with this girl or she's with this guy. That's your main squeeze. Y'all mess around. Maybe you talk to other guys or girls or whatever, the case may be, but y'all both come together. That's your girl, goddammit. Just be honest. You talk to other chicks, she's other guys, but y'all come together. And people say, oh, friends with benefits. It's more than that sometimes. People actually go out too, right? Or go on dates, but they do it secretly. So what you got to do is a negotiation. A negotiation is nothing more in a relationship than a way to kind of like, how can I say it? Like a way to basically like talk it out and have an understanding. Pay attention now, right? So you guys watching out there, some people know what I'm talking about, some might be lost, but I'm going to explain it right now. And I'm going to take literally not more than 2 minutes or a minute. 60 seconds, I can break this down easy, fast, and quick. When you talk to somebody and you tell a girl what you want and what you're looking for, which again, unfortunately these days does not happen a lot because people lie about everything, and that's where people get hurt. And these girls with status is like, I would like give you some sex. Just be honest with me instead of like lying and tell me your future, this and that. There's memes, there's stories on IG, there's videos of comedians that do this. There's those like those reenactment exaggerated videos, but they make sense. There's all kinds of things, and that's a problem, bro. Because people do not negotiate in love or in a relationship. If you're gonna be in love with somebody, let them know what you feel. They'll be like, listen, you talk, for example, you're a guy, tell a girl, I like you and all that, but I don't think we'll be together right now. Nothing can happen in the future, but why don't we just kind of light dating and see how kind of things go. But even then, they're just not gonna see, you're definitely free to do what you gotta do. But if you're me, I respect you, respect me. And so you ask the girl, like, yo, listen, don't text other guys, you with me, trying to focus on me, and that's it. What you're doing the other time, I don't know you. I don't know that. And then eventually, if you're excited, you may get together, or again, not always together, but take your time. Because some people want to take their time to date or jump in a relationship. Some don't. And then you said it earlier. Some people make the mistake and jump in, and the relationship get toxic. You don't want it to get that way. So you take your time with it. But it all comes to negotiation. We tell her, listen, we could do this and that. How does it sound? I like you, I'm feeling you, but my heart is somewhere else right now. My mind, maybe I'm focused on my money, but I definitely need a girl in my life or a woman. And in the girl can say, I need a dude, but maybe right now it's not the right time. Maybe she's in school. We all know school and work take a lot of your time. Bro, relationship is a whole other priority in your life. Like Arnold said, you gotta fit all them things in an hour. Well, your family, your significant other has to do with that. Not just your work, your podcast, your workout, your time to yourself, you making money, your time on a clock or whatever. So everything is important, right? Which is why you gotta talk. And again, negotiate. You gotta tell the chick or if you're a girl, the guy you're dating, that we can see each other this day, but we gotta do a certain time because my schedule's like this. You gotta respect my time, my consideration. No problem. Okay. All right, honey, cool. All right, babes, cool. Boom. You set up a date, you go out, you do this. That's negotiation. Isn't it not dating, bro? Setting up dates and communicating, negotiating in a way? I mean, or am I just rambling here? Because it is. Like, if you tell a girl a certain time and we're going to do like this to see how the first day goes, you kind of negotiated something, whereas the girl could be like, oh, what's up, babe? Or send me this or give me a gift. Let's go out here. And then they choose everything. Take your time and don't make the girl choose anything for you. And if you're a girl, don't let the guy always steer you around what he wants to do. Always keep it mutual and communicate. That's the best advice I can give you. I'm not going to say do this. We're not trying to teach nobody to have one up on people and all that. That's different talk. We're talking about simple, everyday things. When relationships are everyday life. I mean, it's part of the game. Part of who you're dating, who you're not dating. How's it going? Why you're not dating girls?
Exactly.
We talked about this. Like what was it? The Better Version of Yourself about 2 episodes ago, I think, or less episode. That how you gonna date dimes and or 8, 9s, and 10s if you can't even get like a 6 or 6.5, and you never know you lower yourself. I mean, I get it. She might be a good person, might like her, but you can also, and this is another topic altogether, you can also influence her to do more, which guys have done in the past and women have done to men. A lot of women influence men in a good way, and a lot of men influence women in a good way too. It's just that the world is so fucked up. They always focus on toxic things because there's so much toxism going on, and of course, it's always a bullshit that's that's brought up on
there's a lot
media online. The good stuff, bro, you don't see this too much. I seen one time a video of Tyrese Gibson, the singer actor from Fast and Furious, and Reverend Ron from Run DMC talk about advice on relationships. And this is like I'm talking about 5-6 years ago. And I remember watching the video saying, okay, that's a good video. I like what they're talking about. It's simple stuff, bro. You can make things better. But we live in an era where talking and negotiation between men and women are kind of like an all-time low. It seems like it's all about competition now and who can do more, who can steal somebody's girlfriend, who can do this, who can do that, who can have more lovers. A lot of girls, also, they don't really value men like they should. A lot of men also, seem to do some bullshit. They don't get, they're not on their job. They're not on their purpose. They don't keep it real with women. And that's what happens. Unfortunately, that's where the disconnect starts. And, well, we know what happens. Shit can go left, so.
Right. And going just in the negotiation factor of it, it's like, you need to be able to effectively communicate in order to effectively compromise, right? Yeah. So Yeah, it's like you said, a lot of people are more in competition today. I feel like, especially with the rise of social media in the last 15 to 20 years, it's become, everybody's in competition with each other. But here's the thing: you can't be willing to settle for that. Then I don't care if I'm talking to men and females out there. This is not just for men. Don't settle if someone is like unwilling to effectively communicate and compromise on things. That should be a red flag right off the bat. That they're not a good communicator. Devious behavior, different types of things. You shouldn't tolerate it. Then you got to have the confidence to walk away. And this is actually important in negotiating too. Actually, listen to this one.
It comes to strong-minded people too.
The strongest standpoint you possibly have is the ability to walk away. To walk away from the table. This can happen in a negotiation. Like, that's the thing. Like, being willing to walk away is the strongest standpoint that you possibly have. You have no higher standpoint inside of a negotiation than having the power to walk away. So if you're in a relationship that you're not happy in, you feel like the person will not communicate, they're a bad communicator, they don't know how to ask for what they need in a relationship, there's a lot of passive aggressive tendencies going on, there's a lot of they're not compromising, you can see like narcissistic behavior kind of going on, then look, all you can do is try your best to work with them. If it doesn't work out, like, you have to be willing to walk away. And this can happen in business deals as well. I didn't really touch too much on business deals, mainly career and promotion, but if you're in a business deal and it's not what you want, don't just settle out because the person's making you feel a little bit intimidated. The highest power you have is your ability to walk away from a situation. So negotiating is very important, that you can have the balls to walk away and the confidence to walk away. So, I mean, relationships, dating, you need to compromise as well. It might not be your significant other yet, but, how are you going to, if you can't effectively communicate, nobody knows.
Right, compromise.
Nobody's a mind reader of what you need and what you want. You have to be able to communicate that, and then at that point, it's effectively compromising for both of you. Your wife or your girlfriend are going to have things, unless you guys are absolutely 100% perfect into the point where every single thing you guys like and do is exactly the same. There's going to be some type of compromise somewhere down the road. And if you don't know how to effectively compromise, guess what? There's going to be butting heads, and it's just going to be constant. And it's going to be lots of fights, and
trust me, shit happens. You notice how people do this?
It's going to rear its ugly head at some point, right?
Right, it's ugly, exactly. So, all the bullshit, toxic stuff is going to stick its ugly head. You notice how you bump heads and all, and then couples, especially power couples, but maybe they're both like on their purpose and all, but something's going on. They don't talk enough. Again, communication saves relationships. So going back to this, right? They don't negotiate enough, talk enough, and have those serious conversations, which you cannot ignore all the time. What happens? They got kids, and then sometimes you divorce by the time the kids are 10 or 12, not even 20. Or even worse,
Personally, I think the most things in relationships are, I would say, number one is trust, and number two is communication.
Trust is very important. Communication.
Yeah, trust is number one, I think, and then I would say communication is number two.
Important.
Yeah, very important, man. And it's just kind of how it is, right? So we've talked a little bit about career, a little bit about relationships. We'll talk a little bit about, we got about 20 minutes left. Talk a little bit about the everythings in life, and then we'll kind of go through our scenarios a little bit. And like I said, guys, if you're enjoying this podcast, you're enjoying our content right here, drop some comments down below. Let us know a scenario where you tried to negotiate and you were unsuccessful. Maybe you thought about negotiating, but you chickened out a little bit. You got scared. You didn't wind up doing it. Share that down below. If you had a success story, share that down below as well. We'd love to hear. We'd love to interact. So we'll hop into the final sphere here, just kind of like everyday life negotiating. And I kind of already hinted on it, right? Like, you could be in a grocery store, someone just cuts in front of you in line, someone like push you out the way. Like, you're going to deal with adversity almost anywhere, right? Like, it's very, very important to know. Yeah, exactly. George, you have any examples here? Even in being at a bar, like anywhere you go.
Yeah, I do actually. All right, so let me give you quick, because I got some stories, but I don't want to take too much time. But we'll get into like that. And also, before I even jump to the story real quick about negotiating, right? Real quick, I'm gonna hold that thought. But speaking of business, bro, it ties into relationship. I mean, not relationship. It ties into like business relationship, corporate world, or interviews, like for a job. Like me and you both work corporate world, and also anything else. And oftentimes, you see how some people, bro, are great businessmen. They might be billionaires, but they're weak, they're easy to manipulate, and they're mentally kind of weak. And they go, oh yeah, they go along and they meet somebody else who may or may not match their level of success, maybe more successful or even less, but they move people to speak. They're a motivational speaker, a strong attitude, look at your eye. They'd be like, yeah, we should do this. And they pursue the guy's like, he doesn't even know like the deal is being talked about, and he's being pushed in, or pursue a direction as a no, and it says, yeah, I guess, and they do this, and they don't, but they don't say, okay, well, hold on, let me just see. Let's take that back. Like, let me just evaluate the situation. Like, let me think about it. Some people rush in business, just talking about strictly business right now, or corporate world. They rush to projects, to business deals, scenario situations without really realizing it. And I've seen a lot of people become partner with somebody because they're a motive, they feel that this person is really persuasive. Even lawyers do this because lawyers are persuasive by nature. That's beyond. When lawyers pass their bar test, they can be very persuasive, which might make a good lawyer, right? Like, besides the point, but similar. So people sometimes will join a deal only because the person persuades them, or sometimes, even the person can potentially manipulate them. But again, using big terms and, oh yeah, it's going to do great. The numbers are this is the project, this is the idea. We're going to start like building this thing here. You might not agree with it, but you don't have a mind of your own, so you go along. That's what basically being like basically a robot, or what they call it, a monkey. Basically, you just monkey see, monkey do. You got to frame for doing that. Now we all been there. I've been there myself, where I've been indecisiveness is one thing, and being a pushover, not understanding what's going on, is a totally different thing. I've been indecisive in the past. I can never say I've been a pushover, but in my younger days, bro, when I was a lot younger, in my beta days, I made mistakes, and I'll get to the point as well now. So having said that, now you said give me an example. I'll give you an example where I negotiated, but I feel like I did okay, but it didn't go my way, and it was a failure maybe, but I didn't care. I kept it moving. Like about 3 years ago, I was about a year out of college, fresh out of college. I was working before I got the job at the bank. I got a job interview somewhere by the Chamonix Mall. I go there, nice, suited up and all that. Had a nice little haircut, I was looking good and all. So long story short, bro, we do the interview. It was between me and like 2 people, but in reality, it's only me and another guy. This guy had been there for like, not there, but he had experience for like 20 years. He's a little older. He was a very good candidate. It was another guy my age who apparently they believed I was probably had an edge on him. But it came down to the negotiating part. And I said, yeah, listen, I need a job where I want to make this much money. And first of all, I said, I go for like anywhere between, at the time I was going for like $15 to $20 because, again, I didn't know my worth and I was out of college. I was very inexperienced. I didn't know much. I haven't done much, but I was just had a little experience from college, from working, doing homeschool, doing work study. So I getting paid from working from school and going to school as well as my internship. So I told them what I wanted, and I said, I got a value. I said my distance, the timing, and the 9 to 5. I said I like 9 to 5, but if the job is very far and I get home at 8, those 3 hours I can't get back in time. So I got to see what's up. Oh yeah, I said naturally, And she's like, well, what would you like to start? I said, I just started between 16, I said, and $20. Prefer 19. I said, but I'll settle for like 17. Well, they offered me like $17.50, which wasn't the best, which wasn't the worst. See, I could have been right there, start right there. I could have been more precise, but like my limit is like definitely like say like 17 or 16 or 16. My top is 21. If you can match that price range and pay me that much, I'm with it because I'm experienced or I'm to school for this and I'm passionate about this job. And I'm also a good learner. I told them my resume speaks for itself. I had some experience, not in that particular field, but good college career, bro. I'd done good in grades and all that. They liked it. They said, oh, he's young, because at the time I was like 27, 28, so I was a little younger. But maybe I didn't negotiate enough, I said to myself, because apparently, long story short, the guy that was a little older, who had been doing it for a while, he got the job. As it's pretty obvious, right? Clearly. They called me back, only if I called them twice. So I had to reach out to them twice, be like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, thank you for trying, but unfortunately, we went along, but keep us in mind, we'll let you know, keep in mind, this and that, the usual bullshit they sell you. I said, all right, no problem, I got something. But I kept the number, and I always kept them as a reference. It could have been 2 scenarios, right? Either when I negotiated, seen I was strong-minded, say, he's still too much. Maybe the other guy is more quiet or he's more experienced. He might be better fit and he might be better for us. But they might have said to themselves, this guy George probably knows what he's doing. And we like people like that with balls and all that, but at the same time, we were going to go with him. Or maybe I didn't do enough negotiation. I feel like, he did ask some good questions, but this guy's way more experienced, way older, better fit. He has better questions, more negotiating. Because I didn't see these interviews, so I can't say it was a one-on-one interview. It wasn't like a group thing. And he probably got the job. All right, cool. Now, fast forward this, when I got the job at the bank, one of the reasons I got the job at the bank in July 2017, right? I was there July 2017 to 2018. I was there for about 7 months. I got the job at the bank, bro, simply because he liked the way he liked my attitude. He liked me. He said, something about you. You came in with confidence. You look good, dressed nice. You carry yourself well, ask good questions, never started once, it wasn't so much the body language, although I played a part of that, but it was just the fact that it seemed like I knew what I wanted. And he was building a team of different bankers and tellers that people would be trained. And I just wasn't one of the chosen ones. He chose me, he said he liked, how I approach, he liked my resume, he looked decent, Again, remind you, at this point, no experience in banking. I only got experience in banking after that. I had a similar gig or whatever, and I got some more experience under my belt. I did it, I got the job. Boom. Now, another story, right? And you see this example is a good example. This is both corporate world, job, interview examples about soccer. From 2014 to about 2015, I played for some Albanian team called Tirana, right, at the SMG Arena. Maris came a couple times. He actually played with me, I think, like once or something like that. I think I told you, right? I still got some pictures and videos from that time. After the season was over in 2015, after about a year and a half of them, I wanted to go to another team because I just wasn't liking how things were going. Just for whatever reason. It just was too much, It's my business. I just feel like, I just don't really want to be no more. I feel there's better teams. I don't get into all the details, but it was what it was. One of the teams that we were playing right at the time were called the Big Green, like the movie The Big Green with the soccer, the goat and all that, right? And as luck would have it, I happened to know one of the guys, a guy named Timmy. I'm sorry, Rob. His brother's Tim, Rob, right? His father was my first coach in America way back in the day when I used to work. I used to play when I was like a little kid, like a peewee, basically, the young teams. So I knew his father, I knew his whole family, but I knew Rob. He's like a year older than me, and him like pretty cool since back in the day. So we knew each other. So I see him one time, we played against them, and I said, "Yo, man, how long you playing for this team?" He said, "A couple months. We're definitely expanding a little, so people kind of come and go. There might be spot for you." I said, "I'm looking forward to leaving this Albanian team." I said, called Tirana, and I wouldn't mind joining another team. I said, and to be honest, you guys always give us a good run. Every time, bro, it would be close games, or they would win a game, we would win a game. So it was always close, and I liked how they played. I talked to them. I also met one of the guys on the team, a guy named Andrew, my man Adoc. Shout out to Adoc. And I talked to him, and he said, "Yeah, George, you know what, dude? If you're not playing for nobody, we'd love to have you, man. You're a serious guy. You play good." He said, "You're strong. We'll give you a shot. I mean, we're sure you'll do good with us." I negotiated a little. I said, "Well, when can we start?" He's like, "Well, not to be next session." He said, "But we'll see how things go. Maybe you can come in as a guest." So he said, I said, "How about I come every now and then?" I said, "You call me. If I don't play, I'll just be like a reserve, or I'll just wait there even if I play, or even play goalie. But if you need me, let me know. And then next time, I join the team for good." As luck, whatever, bro. Long story short, bro, it all worked out, bro. I went there, like, I only missed a few games, and somebody kind of got hurt from the team. They got me right away. Next session, which was only 2 months later, they got me a jersey. They paid $20 for a jersey. Bang. I made it happen. And not only I played for a team, but we became like really close to all the guys. Not just the guy Rob that I knew from years ago because I knew his dad, but we became close to everybody. So it all worked out well. You see what I'm saying? A small thing, bro. You got to do is open your mouth. Like I said, close and don't get fed, bro. No one will know what you're going to do if you don't go out there, put yourself out there. I spoke to them. We talked it out. We had a conversation. I played a game. They knew me from before playing against them. They say, "Yo, we're tired of you scoring against us. How about you play for us? You score for us." Basically, we pay to score goals. I was like, "Listen, dude, as long as I have a team and I have a home to play and a place to go, man, and you guys are serious, all cool dudes, bro, all had jobs. Some of them were corporate jobs. Everybody was serious in there. All had families. No time for BS, playing to get hurt, playing to win, and, to have fun." And that's exactly what happened. We did well, bro. We didn't win the championship, but we went close in the finals, I think, in the playoffs. Did pretty well. And I stuck with them for a while until I left in 2018. So I was there for about, like 2.5 years, something like that, close to 3 years. I was with them. And in 2018, like something happened. So, I stopped playing with them. Then I came back a little later, like a few months, late 2018, played a little more, played a couple of, games as a goalie. But I kept in touch with those guys. And ironically, one of these guys, right, he was actually a supervisor at a job that I went for when I was working with, remember the job that Marius got, Express, the company that got him the job, the temp agency? He worked at the temp agency, so he's fucking with him. "Oh, I know George. He's a good worker." He's like, "Yo, this guy, whatever he does, don't give him the job." And then he's like, "Now I'm playing. George, my boy. I know George for years. He's definitely a very good worker. Solid work ethic." I didn't have to say a word. I was already in. The guy Tom McBride at Express was already going to give me a gig. I mean, like a temporary job. But just having a guy that I knew from a team give me a good word obviously looks good. So see how things work, bro. How negotiation or just knowing people can, and again, who knows you, how can it play out, bro? Like I might know you, and you're Steve Ushler. You work at some big company, not the job you do now, but something like that. Who knows in the future? Be like, "Yeah, I know George. That's my boy. You know what? If
Right.
a shot, and you get me in there, bang, I get a job now." It
Right.
all works out a certain way. What's meant to happen will happen, bro. It's as simple as
Right.
that.
It's nice when you've already developed a relationship with someone, obviously, but obviously when you haven't yet, that's when the negotiation kind
Yeah,
of comes forth, right?
it comes in
Uh,
handy. It comes
so,
in handy a lot.
so those were some good scenarios, man. I like your scenarios, man. When you were unsuccessful and when you were successful.
Yeah,
And the
bro.
point of it is like it doesn't really matter if you were unsuccessful or if you failed. It's only a failure if you can't grow from it. So the whole point of it is like I'll bring up some of my scenarios as well. So like a time when I was unsuccessful, so going for a job interview was actually when I was in college. And I know that I could have probably did some other, like I could have done better and prepared better when I came in. When I went into this interview with no preparation, I didn't do my research, and quite frankly, I didn't get the job because of it. So a little bit of things I took away from that were the fact that I probably didn't hold enough eye contact. My body language was shaky because I was a little bit nervous. I talked a little bit fast.
You were
And
young at the time, right?
Yeah, and it felt more like an interview than a conversation. A point that I can make to you is that if an interview is going very well, you'll notice about a quarter of the way through, it kind of develops into a conversation. It doesn't really feel as much like an interview. It kind of develops into almost like a
Not an
casual
interrogation
conversation.
interview, but
You can
it's
tell
like a
you're
little-
vibing with that person. You can
Yeah.
tell that the interview's going well. You come in with your research. but it was one of the it was a big four fine, like an accounting firm, and I didn't get the job, quite frankly. It was when I was still in college. There's another time too where I would say when I also didn't get a promotion that I was looking to get. So again, did not come in with stats, did not come in with data, kind of went into that based on emotion, which is why I said you can't go into a promotion negotiation based on emotion just because you feel a certain way.
Because you think you can get it. Now what you know is what you can prove, remember? So yeah.
Exactly. You have to back it up with the stats. You have to back it up with the data. And again, I was not confident in that as well. I was confident like in myself before it. As soon as I got into it, man, I don't know what it was. It was just kind of like locked up, a little shaky, a little nervous. So little said, I did not get the promotion, and I did not provide a rebuttal either. I did not say, like, when they said no, I just took that and walked out. And this was not recently, but this was just at a retail job. I was just working in retail, and I was just trying to get like a little promotion and make some more money. Like, honestly, I thought I should be getting paid more. And I was so passionate about it before going in there. But, even when they said no, I walked out. And honestly, it was cowardice. It was coward-like, not standing up for myself and not getting what I knew. I knew my work ethic was there. But honestly, the negotiation tactics weren't there. So it doesn't really matter how hard you're working. They might realize it, but they know if they can control you inside an interview, they know that, not an interview, inside of a negotiation, they know that they're not going to give you what you want because they know you're not going to ask for it anyway if they tell you no.
About
so
exactly, you're not asking because you don't.
So those are two.
You're kind of like I'm guessing, bro. You were young back in college, so obviously you're not the same guy now. But these days you go a lot different. It's just that sometimes you say, bro, also this, bro, be like, oh, this, no, be here. You gotta show yourself, look them in the eye. They like focus and determination. That's what they love, bro. Trust me. A lot of people, they don't want a parrot or a monkey. They want like a man with like with the hand of steel. For lack of better terms, with balls, but also a man that can think outside of the box. And I always tell people, I like to be helpful. I like to care for others at the job. Yeah, I don't like none of that snitching bullshit. That's besides the point. But is there growth in there?
I learned from it. That's the whole factor of it. So some of the successful circumstances I can tell you, 2 interviews right off the bat. When I interviewed for Bank of America, when I worked for Merrill Lynch, just for a very short period, I crushed that interview. I went in there with all my research ready to go. I looked at how they were performing financially. This was for a financial job. So I went in knowing the research. I read the Wall Street Journal. I looked at everything I could on Bank of America and Merrill Lynch. I went into that interview ready to go. I knew where they stood, like from a financial standpoint, what was going on in the news basically with Bank of America. And I knew a ton of stuff that they were actually very impressed with when I came into the interview. And I ended that interview with 3 questions. I was interviewed by 2 gentlemen. And I went into that interview with 3 questions. A day later, I was contacted to come in for like fingerprinting and got the job. But I also went into that interview with confidence. But I got there an hour early, right? So I sat in the lobby and I was able to, I guess, calm my nerves before I even went into that interview. I went in super confident body language, firm handshake, looked that person in the eye and just like both of them in the eye. And I was able to, I guess they liked my energy. So like I went in and I was confident. I was confident I was going to be able to do the work, passionate about it. And the same kind of thing happened with the job I'm at now. The company that I'm with now is a nonprofit, but it was for a financial analyst position. And when I walked in, I interviewed with one person over the phone initially. It was a phone screening interview. But when I walked in, I didn't know I was going to be interviewing with 7 people. I walked in and it was like a boardroom of 7 people.
Hang on, it was 7 people and you?
7 on 1.
Yeah, I've been there before too, bro. But go ahead. I know what you're talking about. It's way different. It's all eyes on you and 7 people, 7 souls, 7 energies looking at you. You're like trying to, make sure everybody,
so it's a lot to maintain eye contact with multiple people, right? When you're being interviewed by all those type of people. Anybody out there, if you ever been in that type of circumstance, you kind of come through and you think you're interviewing with one person. You wind up interviewing with like 7 people. But again, I was able to, I guess, relate to like each one of them and kind of like, I did prepare for interviewing more than one person, but I didn't know it was going to be that many people. But I still went in confident and just crushed it. Like I took a deep breath, come in confident, crush it. You already know you did your research on the company, you did your research on the organization. You're good to go. Same thing. I end it with 3 or 4 questions for them. So like one of the worst things you can do inside of a job interview is if they say, do you have any questions at the end? And you say no. Okay, we'll call you. Like you need to be engaged.
It's a buzz killer, bro. Killing your momentum would say no. Always, even if it's a bullshit question. Again, fake it till you make it a little bit.
Yeah,
If
what
you
is the
don't-
culture? It could be
Yeah,
something as simple as what's the culture like at this
Yeah,
organization?
just ask what's the culture like. Oh, what's typical day like? How's it, yo? You know, all right, real quick, bro. Since we brought this really excellent topic, and then we'll move on. This is one of my questions I say in every job interview. What's it like to be like a supervisor? Yeah, supervisor. You know, or for example, like what's a normal day that might be a little busy? How do they operate?
Yeah,
You
you know,
can ask me. It's not a super extra question. What's the work culture like? Easy, like
yeah,
stuff.
you know what I asked? I asked who's someone who was a fairly new employee here and they did not work out. They did not work out with this organization. What characteristics led them to be unsuccessful with this organization? Or another great question: what is someone who was recently hired and they had been successful with this organization? What characteristics has led them to be successful? I asked that, and one of the analysts actually gave herself an example. But it was, it's all about confidence, it's all about negotiating. That's just on the business side of it, but it's definitely very, very important. Just learning from your mistakes inside negotiating, it can get you so many things in life. Negotiating in relationships is very important as well. Like I was in some toxic relationships early on in my life, and you grow from them, right? You learn to know what you want in life, and you know what you won't tolerate. You know what you're not going to tolerate, what you will tolerate, what you will compromise on, and what you won't compromise on. And to be upfront about that early on and at the forefront is very, very important.
It takes a lot, bro. It takes. I mean, honestly, I hate to keep saying this because it's a cliche, but I mean, yeah, it takes balls. It does. It takes heart, a strong mind, balls, emotions where you can control them. Like you don't gotta meet somebody, and it's hard to again go into relationships or even in a breakup. Like when you tell some company I'm leaving, put your 2 weeks notice, and be like, oh really? Well, we like you here. If a place likes you, you're good at the job, they want to keep you, bro, no matter what. We already know that. It's not waste time talking about stuff that we know. Most jobs will keep you if they like you, they need you. But when you get a better opportunity, you gotta look for yourself, be like, okay, where's the growth? And this is one of the questions that I always ask. Is there growth in the job? What's the balance like? What's some stuff you need to know here, you know what I mean? Or like what do you guys look forward to an employee? See, you again, it's a negotiation. You bring the boat in their court. It's the difference between negotiating, bro, and also in a way, low key. I'm just saying low key because that's how it is, control the conversation. Because at the end of the day, you're the interviewee in interviewing, and they're the interviewers. So they got like a leverage up on you, especially with 7-1. But if you know how to flip the script them a little, if you're smart, they'll be like, oh, this guy actually knows how to hold his own. He's not getting like quote unquote like bombarded with question, bullied. He's not like just kind of tucking his head low and like putting his shoulders up, or be like his body language is not like flare. He's not like looking away, like he's not nervous. They sniff those things out immediately. Like if you're nervous, they'll know. And like you said, if they know they can control that, and then they already won a negotiation. All right, you start on Monday, but 15 an hour, this and that, this time, where you can make like 18 an hour and do great hours. And again, you got to negotiate that, but also got to bring your own value, which helps to be an asset, like I always said earlier.
Yeah.
Value. Not just in life, but just on a job.
Yeah, one thing also with a promotion or a success story for me. But recently I have negotiated a promotion. And I came in with the facts already. I kind of had the data and it wasn't a promotion in the moment, like right there, they're going to give me a promotion. But we worked on a plan, an action plan. Like if I hit certain targets in the next 6 months, I'll maybe I can move, like I can get promoted to this level of this position, and then I'll be making more money, substantially more money. But it's all about having a rebuttal and being able to set up an action plan. Always be prepared for that now, and know what you're going to do about it. Don't just take it. Don't go down without a fight. Kind of compromise on. And if they won't even give you an action plan, like they won't even do anything like that, then just say that, other companies, if I hit those goals, would give me that or whatever. Or just maybe you just need to start looking at another company, another job that's going to kind of fulfill you and allow you to hit those targets. And that's a hard road to go sometimes. Maybe you don't want to leave the company because you love everything about it. But look, if long term they're not going to support your goal or where you're trying to go, then you got to make the decision, and you got to make. Sometimes it's a cutthroat decision, but it's unfortunate. But sometimes you just got to make that decision.
I want to ask you something. Yeah, I want to ask you something because you just mentioned it's a great point, and then we'll move on from this in a little bit. We'll probably have like a few minutes to talk about like the second portion of the topic, and then we can kind of wrap it up soon because
we already kind of did that, the unsuccessful part and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. Yo, real quick, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So speaking of that, bro, what about like questions? Great, but what about as far as like negotiating? This is very important, especially for a job. We're talking about mostly job and business offers. When you have a lot of offers in the business world, and like me, I can speak my personal experience. You have been there too. Even Maris has been there because me and him were like at one point applying for a lot of jobs together. When you have a lot of jobs lined up and also offers, you got to find the right one, and you're trying to find the best fit, and you go to a couple interviews. It's almost like you're talking to different business partners or look at different houses to buy a house. talking to different chicks, maybe you choose one you like the most, be like, yo, I like her, go on a date with her, and then you make her your girl, looking for different cars, and be like, okay, I like them all, but I like this Rolls Royce, but I mean, this Nissan Altima 2015 will do me good, It's all about picking the right one, you know what I mean? Like, have you been there before? As far as like job offers and all these on the table, you gotta be smart, negotiate, or also see the one you like. And if the job you like more than the other one, but they won't pay you that, that's where the negotiation comes, because they won't pay you.
I've been in that situation, bro. Yeah, I had that situation. I already had 2 offers on the table back last year, and I had to make a decision. I had 2 offers on the table at the same time.
I remember that. Yeah, I was around for that. Yep.
Yeah, it happens a lot, man.
You have a job down there, right, where your boy works there, right? Remember?
Yeah.
I think they called you back, but you ultimately got the job here, which is, I mean, it ended up being good for you anyway. So you all worked out somehow, bro. Things always work out. It just in the most unusual scenarios, unthinkable. Sometimes you don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes you lose hope in one thing, it comes back up. Every day's a different day. You don't ever go by what you saw yesterday or 10 days ago or what happened a couple of days ago, because it's a good day. Opportunity can rise again. It took me a while to get with the job I was going for, bro. I didn't want to go at first. The substitute gig, I think it was a good idea, and I went for it. And kind of sort of all sorted out, all kind of worked out. So
exactly, that works, man. That's what's up.
Yeah,
it
bro,
looks like
speaking of existence is good, but
exactly. Looks like we kind of hit our time now too. It's 4:17 at the moment now. I think we did hit on everything, man. We talked about the power of negotiation. We shared our unsuccessful stories and we shared our successful stories. I'm not sure if there's anything you wanted to add. There were just a couple things before we do wrap this up that I wanted to add. Number one, if you guys saw the Christmas giveaway, we're going to end that tomorrow at like 5 p.m. So if you haven't already commented, comment down below. There's 3 things you got to do. Number 1, you got to like that status. Number 2, you got to comment locked in. And number 3, you also just have to comment and just tell us something you're thankful for as we kind of near this Christmas holiday. And you'll be running, we're going to use the comment picker. It's like a Facebook tool where you can randomly pick the comment that wins. And then we'll announce the winner. And then you guys will just need to provide us with your size, the colors you want for the shirt, and pretty much your shipping information. If you're close enough to me, I could personally deliver it as well. It all depends on who wins and where you're located. If not, I'll just ship it out after we have it made. So we haven't had it made yet, so you can let us know your colors, your size when you do win. It's just a Locked In Podcast sweatshirt. But like I said, 5 p.m. tomorrow will be the end of the comments. We won't be taking any more after that, and then we'll pick. So we'll keep you posted on that. And number 2, the Sixers play tonight, 7 p.m. Game 1 of the season.
First game.
I'm repping on this end right here. Yeah, they're playing the Washington Wizards tonight, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in. Game 1 of the NBA. What's that?
It's Philly. It's at the Wells Fargo.
Yeah,
correct?
it's at the Wells Fargo Center, and it's Game 1 of the season.
I would love to go on these games, but yeah, they started the season a little later because obviously the whole year went kind of calendar-wise, it got all backed up, so it was definitely good. Yeah, basketball season started. Did it start yesterday or the day before yesterday? When did it start?
Yesterday.
First day, the first match day was yesterday, so it's great news. Yes, thank God for basketball. We love to watch that stuff. As we know, the Eagles are kind of like struggling a little with football, but there's still a lot of games going on.
No, I mean they can still get in the playoffs. What has to happen is Washington has to lose to Carolina this week. The Giants need to lose to the Ravens, and we need to win out. We got to beat the Cowboys and the Rams.
Still a long shot, but it's possible. Yeah. It's possible.
Well, I definitely think the Giants are going to lose to the Ravens, and I think the Eagles could definitely win out. Basically, it's going to come down to is Carolina going to beat Washington this week? If that happens, good one.
I'll tell you what, bro. Without saying too much about the Sixers and Eagles and all these other stuff, we're getting to the NFL too much because we'll save for another episode. I hope the Eagles do come. If me personally, if the Eagles actually do go to the playoffs and they actually made it and even won the first game, dude, that's achievement because how the season went with a lot of injuries. I mean, with all this stuff now, the Wentz still might want to leave. It's a whole mess. So just them actually making the playoffs is a small win, a small moral victory in a way. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I do have some big games, and there's a couple games. How many games are left in the season without counting the playoffs? Is there like a couple games left, right?
2.
2 very crucial games. The word essential be thrown around all year. These 2 games are essential for the Eagles. So come on, go Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. So man,
okay, bro. So yeah, as far as that goes, I mean, obviously the Sixers play today, so definitely check that out, guys. I'll probably watch some basketball games as I go along my day. We're almost at the wrapping point, bro. Anything you want to add on? I mean, before we leave, before we kind of shut it down, bro. And so we definitely will be promoting the next episode, which will be, let me see. It falls on the 31st, but we may do it again on a Wednesday just because
on a Wednesday next week. That's what we're thinking about.
Thinking about calendar reasons, guys. But we'll let you guys know. Don't think they're like, oh, Friday is the first of the year. A Thursday. Is it the first? Yeah. So Thursday will be the 31st, the last day of the year. Don't think like, oh, these guys are not doing that. If we don't do one, we'll let you know. But as of right now, we're good to go, and we'll probably have one because we already have some stuff pretty much picked out and some topics.
Already kind of in the pipeline for that one. So
Yeah.
we'll get our promotions out early.
Right. We didn't do we did a show today, as you already know, Steve, and some of the viewers might know. We did a show a little different today. Like we did it a different day, obviously. The promoting was a little less second, but it all kind of ended up going well. Also, we switched a few things around our topics. On the next not the next topic, but one of the next topics, we'll probably talk a little about, because it is the holiday still. So this is obviously Christmas coming up, but next week will be after Christmas. So we'll talk about a little bit. We'll cover a little bit of the holidays a little bit and how to stay productive in the holidays. Then we have a really banging kick-ass topic for you guys as well. But we'll definitely mention a little how to stay not only in shape and like not get too much fun in the holidays, but stay sharp, like stay in the grind. Like, don't think, oh, it's a holiday. Like tomorrow I'm off. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. Well, you can do that, but still focus, get stuff done, set goals. The grind never stops, man, even on Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's Eve. So
yeah, definitely, man.
That right there, I think we're pretty much good to go. I mean,
I think with that being said, I think it's a good spot to wrap it up. Like we said, this was episode 15, and I think it was good. I think this was pretty intuitive. We gave a lot of info on we walked through a little bit of our stories, but we also gave a lot on the power of negotiation in particular. And I think pretty insightful, pretty intuitive for you guys. So let us know if you're watching this later on, because this is earlier than our usual time frame. And it's a day early as well. Comment down below. Let us know, guys. We always want to collaborate with you guys, so please drop your comments. We're always appreciative of it, for sure. But if that's all, guys, I'm going to be the first to say, have a very, very Merry Christmas and a very, very happy holiday with your loved ones. Have a happy and healthy Christmas. Stay safe and enjoy yourself. It's okay to have a couple drinks here and there. It's okay to have some sweets. Enjoy yourself. It's the holidays. It's Christmas, guys. But definitely wish you guys a very, very safe and happy holiday with your family.
Yes, and to add on, so obviously, guys, we'll talk to you guys before New Year's Eve. But like Steve said, a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Have a happy, holiday. Happy Christmas. All that good stuff. Also, we'll keep you guys, in tune, a few things going on. Obviously, the giveaway, and we'll probably have some more prizes and stuff like that coming up in the future. Be sure to follow us at the Locked In Podcast on IG, my IG, GMAC88, and as well as Steve's, for those guys that know your IG. So you guys probably already know, there's a page. What we did is on the original Locked In Podcast page, what I did is I put a little star on top of it just to kind of differentiate it from the new one, because they're virtually identical, except like Steve mentioned, the older page with the little star, it's private because that's just how it was done that way, when we made it. So now we have the one that's not private, it's public. But either or, if you're the private one and you stay the one, it's fine. We'll send you a link to the private one. We'll probably still do this kind of run both of them, but as it gets, time goes by, we'll probably focus more on the public one. But the private one is not going anywhere, so don't think we'll get taken down. Now we'll also keep it around, and we'll keep you guys educated and up to speed, so you know what to
exactly.
Go. Nothing gets confused or cool. Messy. So yeah.
Exactly.
And, I think we head off. Right. So.
Well, all right, guys. Have a great night. Have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. And George as well. Have a great night, man. As always, great collaborating with you. And have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday, my friend.
You as well, man. Happy holiday, and I'll talk to you soon. And good job, man. Good stuff. We'll see each other soon, and we'll see you guys soon. Okay.